Hi, and welcome to this week's Sports Chat. I'm Chris Smith alongside Alex Dingman here in the newly renovated Baker football locker rooms. I'm sitting in Rich, who was the star of this week's football team. So let's talk about
smells
Rich.
like a winner.
Does smell like a winner. Let's talk about Baker football this week. We got a big result this weekend.
Oh yeah, definitely an impressive victory down there in Benedictine. Able to pull that one off by a little bit more than a score down there, and a game where they outscored Benedictine 21-7 there in the second half after they were trailing going in there to halftime, and they really put it to them. An excellent passing performance by Mac Brown. We all know about his stats, getting Hack Player of the Week. 365 yards, 3 touchdowns. The important thing, no interceptions, no turnovers in that ball game, and that's a huge stat for the Wildcats. And not only him, but also Richie, like you talked about, contributing as well.
Oh yeah, 134 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Second week in a row that he's had over the century mark for the Baker football team. So Baker really looks to be rolling. They have Graceland, who they haven't beaten the last 3 years, but they're coming to Liston Stadium on our homecoming. I've got a good feeling about this game, Ding.
Oh yeah, we'll just see if they can keep that passing attack going. They got so many options there at wide receiver. Fawcett had over 100 yards, couple touchdowns. He's got great hands, best hands on the team. And then Tyrell Spain's really clicking now. He's got over 80 yards. It's nice to see him and Mac Brown getting some sort of relationship down there on the field, because, I mean, that can be quite the dynamic force.
Right. It all boils down to the offensive line as well, so kudos to them for really being revamped this year and putting on a show for us so far. Yeah. That offense is really clicking.
Also, that defense doing well, too.
Oh,
Ronnie Harris already with 3 picks. Herb Askew's got a couple. Colt Miller's always disrupting things. So, and that front 7 as well, a little undersized, but Levi Calhoun, leading tackler in that ball game against the Ravens, had a sack as well.
Absolutely.
And Spencer Kern doing a nice job, and so really a complete team effort. The only thing that they're lacking right now is a little bit of the special teams, which coming in this season, not really expecting, but I mean, it's Derek Dorfler who's going to get things going. They finally got the snapping situation down, so he'll start putting them through here before too long.
I definitely expect a win tomorrow. Also, Friday, Baldwin Bulldogs back in action. Let's talk about their game a little bit. Another good solid result. It wasn't the prettiest game, but they did get it done.
No, not the most attractive game. 0-0 at half, you know, somewhat boring. Baldwin High had their opportunities there late in the first half to score. Couldn't quite punch it in, but then, you know, go ahead and put it into Sam Beecher's hands there to begin the second half. He runs it 90 yards for a touchdown score. Chips on another one later on to win that game 14-0 against DeSoto. So now they're 2-0 against 4A teams, 1-1 against 5A teams. They knocked off Paola, lost to Gardner, but it's all about the 4A for Baldwin High, and they're showing that they are still a force to be reckoned with there, especially in the Frontier League. So they have this Ottawa team coming up that hasn't won a game yet, coached by Coach Bergen, a guy that we know at Baker University very well. Was coaching here last year's first season down there, trying to make some things happen, but Baldwin High is looking to go down there to Ottawa and really show them what's up and continue on their nice little hot streak they got going.
I think so too. I think the Baldwin Bulldogs can continue this winning streak at least until they go down to Lewisburg. Interesting note, Lewisburg got it handed to them by Gardner Edgerton.
Yeah, it's not the same Lewisburg team this year.
No, not at all. They lost some of their athletes, so that will also be a battle. And other than that, that's really what's in our way until district. So Baldwin High looking extremely strong. Got
Run the table,
result.
boys. Run the table.
Run it. Run it. Let's move on to some more Baker sports. The footy team was back in action after they got back from Azusa Pacific and Point Loma. The men's and women's soccer team both 2-0 since last week. Had a great week. Women's team, what can you say? A 16-0 victory over the Culver
Stockton touchdowns
Wildcats.
and 2 two-point conversions.
That's exactly what it was.
Good God.
Unbelievable showing. They had 2 people with hat tricks, Christine Jansen and freshman Alex Schiraldi, so kudos to them. 16-0. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can say about that.
Embarrassing. I mean,
on the men's side, also went to Culver Stockton and put up a good result, 5-0. Matt Germain getting clicking, got his first hat trick of the year.
So sick.
Gerard Grehan chipping in the other one, and John Baldwin as well. So good result there. And then both teams defeated a tough Morningside team, 4-0 this past weekend. Tell you, Morningside doesn't have the record to show it this year, but they are better than what their record shows, and so a 4-0 result at home is very good there. So kudos to both of the soccer teams as well. Matt Germain and Christine Jansen both getting Hack Player of the Week honors. Forgot to mention it in football a second ago, but congratulations to Mac Brown as well for his performance that earned him all Hack honors this week.
Leader
as well.
in fantasy points this week too.
Oh yeah, he had a huge fantasy
Pick
week.
him up. Yeah.
All right, moving on, volleyball, winning at the Benedictine Quad. They beat Bethel and a couple other schools, so good showing for them in Atchison. And then the cross-country team back in action this week at Emporia's Jocks Niche Tournament in Emporia, Kansas. So if you're out in Emporia, be sure to root them on. For now, we'll send it back to the studio.
Thanks for that, Chris and Alex. That concludes this week's show of the Orange Line. I'm Jessie Manthai.
And I'm Nick Williams. Stay tuned for next week's show.